Finally, the weekend again. Let's see what's been happening.
Oh my God, Cog, you keep responding to tweets on Twitter saying that you're not a cook through the accusations that you're a cook. That just proves that it's more true. This is how stupid this whole thing is. Welcome to drama, you sad fucks that love this. I try to stay away from drama on my show. I try to obviously cover cop stuff and crazy videos on the internet, and that's kind of what we do, like a clip show. You're a pussy. I put my video up because Hef bullied me to because he rushed me in to do it. Fuck you. You rushed it. You didn't ask questions. Didn't come to me and ask. Now I've got to do this fucking show to fucking clarify this. My Twitter is filled with 100 fucking tweets of me having to correct a load of morons that have jumped to conclusions based on nothing that came from where? One source. EarJuice's pissing video.
Oh dear. Cog, you silly goose. What the fuck? Why did he do that? Oh no. Oh, let's do it. This one.
That's called getting cooked to the internet. Don't go to Bitwave. I think it's a shit fucking website. That's my advertisement. Hi Nexus, 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 hi Nexus. My IP address. You seem to be spurging.
What a fucking spurg.
These are the spurgs that come from when you talk about my IP address. You seem to be spurging.
What a fucking spurg.
These are the spurgs that come from when you talk about my IP address. You seem to be spurging.
What a fucking spurg.
These are the spurgs that come from when you talk about my IP address. You seem to be spurging.
What a fucking spurg.
These are the spurgs that come from when you talk about. Don't go to Bitwave. I think it's a shit fucking website. That's my advertisement.
Dispatch is the worst coder ever. You guys wouldn't believe it. It's shit. Don't go there, guys. Don't go there.
Say not
Thanks for the free advertisement.
My IP address. My IP address.
What a fucking spurg.
My IP address. Seems to be spurging. My IP address. You seem to be spurging.
What a fucking spurg.
These are the spurgs that come from when you talk about. Don't go to Bitwave. I think it's a shit fucking website. That's my advertisement.
Here we go. We are live. Finally. It's been 2 weeks. I'm just going to unmute the other guys. But welcome. Welcome to the Collectibles stream. That's about all I've got to say. It's been an interesting 2 weeks, of course. How much have we all loved it? I know some people have, at least. And talking about people who are loving stuff, Stretch, how are you doing, sir?
I had like the best 2 weeks ever. It's been great. It's gonna get it even better.
Now, the only thing, I mean, a week ago, we had put up in the thing, we're not going to talk about drama, we're not going to do it, but then the stream guest anyway. And Cog was being a bit harsh, but he wasn't being too bad. But at this point, yeah. I can't say I'm a massive fan, so... Can't say I'm a massive fan. Don't tell John Kelly, I'm the leader of Plate Gang. Who is the leader of Plate Gang? Caesar.
You know what? I have to apologize to Caesar. Caesar was right about Cog.
Why is that?
I was wrong. Because he's a cuck. Anyway. I just saw Caesar there, so I had to bring it up. What's up, BLT?
I don't think so. I don't think he is.
Oh,
Cock, you a cock boy. Oof, oof.
I love that song. It flows so well.
Which song?
The Cog's Not There song.
Cog's not on there. Yeah, it's good. It's just it's an Bitwave bumper, so it's like a Bitwave ad. I don't know who made him a
it's
knob.
great though.
Yeah, it came together well. Yeah, people like that bumper.
I saw it in Dispatch's server. It was like one of the regulars. I can't fucking think of the name.
Friend, maybe?
Or is it Kowalski?
Oh yeah, Kowalski. Yeah, he would have liked that. Yeah, he's probably the one who made him a nog. I don't know. That just became
Yeah, that's
an
what I'm
emote.
saying.
Yeah, that became one of the emotes in the Bitwave chat. If you type cog, then that's what's going to come up. Hashtag if you want a large one. Oh, Captain Weeb donated $1. Those who don't believe in the Emperor are heretics and should be purged. I know we're supposed to be talking about Warhammer. But I just wanted to go over some stuff quickly. First of all, go to Bitwave because Cog's not on there, and that's why you should be on there. Also, I wanted to shill something. I really want to shill something. And that, of course, is my merch store. Oh, wow. Look at this T Public merch. Oh, look at this photo.
I got stuff coming.
Oh, Stretch has got stuff coming as well. Look, I just wanted to raise her kids. Dispatch raping Cog while he's in a wall, stuck, getting laughed at by Ralph, who I think he looks like he's got a snake body. I don't know what's happening there. Tonka in his wheelchair, looking dead, and Zoom with a bit of a pot belly. But yes, you definitely want this merch. Oh my god, it's only on sale for the next 1 day and 52 minutes. Oh, you can even get it in orange. I know Captain Wee would probably like orange or yellow, normie, hot pink. So all the girls out there, if you're a girl, I know my ex-wife and all my ex-girlfriends, they always dress me up in fucking V-necks. God, I hated V-necks. But for all the girls out there, look, you can even get it in a V-neck style. So you can buy your boyfriend one. He will probably not appreciate it, but that's fine. That's fine. Look, you can even put on kids t-shirts because that's not degenerate and fucked up at all. Put it on a mug. Who cares? Just do it. It's great. Just go to my EarJuice account. Oh, look at all these lovely designs. Oh, everyone loves the cat one. I do like the cat one, and it's quite good.
It's also the official shirt of John Kelly.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. And look, you can get it all in different colors. I mean, that looks lovely. I've got one. It looks great. I got mine from Streamlabs. There is a Streamlabs one as well. It's probably a bit cheaper because it's zero profit. But these are definitely making money. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that I'm definitely making money.
I want the cat one.
Out of drama. Out of drama specifically related to COG. Okay, I just wanted to point that out. Make sure that everybody knew that. Because I've never been monetized before, so I thought I might as well cash in and Jew out over COG because of COG. I want to make
No,
that
you
very
can talk
clear.
shit. This is an unmonetized channel. You can talk all the shit you want. Remember?
This is an unmonetized channel. Yeah, that's true. And I can put
Sometimes
stuff
you
in the
gotta cuck
title as
out.
well. Yeah. I can put stuff in the title because it doesn't matter because I'm unmonetized. Cognitive Talks isn't.
Cuckhammer
it's actually
40
monetized.
kids.
Did you know that? I'm going to buy EJ's t-shirt and burn it if you keep shilling it so hard. I'm going to keep shilling it for the next week.
Whatever.
Also...
No, who said that?
That was
Normie
Josh.
wants a shirt. Normie will shop for shirts on stream. Just send him the link tomorrow.
The shirt should be it should be below the link. I will post it, I think. No, I won't. If I post it there, it fucks up. I will post it here. There you go. One link. That's to the cat one, but then just click on EarJuice. Anyway, oh, there was one other thing. So Red Form and the Happy Hour crew with Stretch are streaming after this. Is that correct, Stretch?
Yeah, we're going after.
Yep. And did you want to briefly talk about it and what is happening, or did you want me to go over some of that stuff?
Well, yeah, we can. I got called a little bitch, and Cog is running with some ridiculous narrative and saying that all this other shit. So I'm just gonna post all the stuff to make him look stupid. If he's smart enough, he'll quit talking about it. But like we don't do anything but start shit and set trash cans on fire. So we're gonna set another trash can on fire tonight.
Yeah. I just wanted to point out too, I'm in the process of making a John Kelly video. If you've been following that, there's been some great stuff with that. He is completely retarded. It's hilarious fun. And he rage quit because I edited a Discord chat the other day. So that was good. But yeah, that's in the process now. But but what I found out last night is and I wouldn't be talking about this, and I don't think Stretch would be doing his stream if this hadn't happened. But for some reason, John Kelly has been DMing COG. And then he completely spurged out and then booted us because he believes John Kelly and his theory that I was working an op since July and Ralph knew about it. We're not sure if Ralph planned it. Sorry.
Even though I have screenshots of our conversation showing when you found out about it, and we have recordings of our conversations, we got enough shit to show that he's dumb, and it's like, why would it even matter?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
anyways, it's like, nigga, he's too stupid to realize he did this to himself. All the stuff we released was about Drama Queen, and this cuck made it about himself. So get ready, Cog. We'll show you how stupid you are later. Just hold on a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And okay, and I'd just like to point this out. This was supposed to be a non-drama stream. We weren't going to talk about it a week ago, and we wouldn't have talked about it really today, except I would have played the songs just to be funny. But yeah, it's gotten to a point, and I'm getting a bit sick of it. And him starting to call me a liar all of a sudden, sending me the first DM in months. It's just, it's ridiculous. I'm a bit pissed off about
When
it.
the fuck have I ever been afraid to say anything? Like, why would I be afraid of some cuck in the UK over the internet? Like, what kind of fucking logic is that? Scared of what, Cog? I'll fucking tell you shit to your face. And let's not forget the DMs I have before the stream that I did talking to Cog. So if he wants to sit there and say I didn't come to him, he can eat a fucking dick.
The only other thing I would like to say about it is that I'm a massive vagina. But the reason that I don't want to talk to Cog is because he would nag me, and it would remind me too much of my ex-wife or my mother. All right, so we are talking about Warhammer 40K, believe it or not, today. So, Mr. Man, you collect Warhammer 40K, sir. Is that correct?
Correct.
Was this a fucking game show? Calm down.
It's fucking fantastic. Actually, I'm going to put on the back. All right, so do you want to briefly tell us how long you've been into Warhammer 40K and what got you into it? Anything like that?
Yeah, when did you come out of the closet?
I got into Warhammer 40K 2009-ish, right when 5th edition Space Wolves got. And Warhammer people will know what that means. Anyone else? Yeah, it was 2009. October, actually.
I think there's a few 40K players in chat.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of people that came out of the woodwork. Motorboat was going to be here today, but he's not feeling well. So, yeah, so that's... Otherwise, we would have had him on as well, because he's probably better with the questions. But, I'd say...
He teleported to bed.
A lot of other people in the chat. There's going to be those who know lots about this, and there's going to be people that don't know anything about that. So what we're going to do is we are going to do a 40k lore video. Now, there's different types of Warhammer as well. We're focusing on 40k today. That's correct, Mr. Man? I am getting this correct? Hopefully.
Yeah, 40k is the primary focus.
Awesome. Okay, so I'll do a playback speed of 0.75. Let's do it. It's Warhammer 40k lore in a minute. And there's going to be a voice from the past. Do you guys want the links are on-air if you want to follow along? In 3, 2, and 1.
Our story begins with a godlike being of immense power known only as the Emperor uniting the warring factions of Earth and embarking on the Great Crusade to reunite all of mankind's lost colonies. He did this by creating 20 legions of post-human genetically engineered badasses known as Space Marines, each with an even more ridiculously OP Primarch to lead them. Well, unfortunately, the four gods of chaos, who weren't really into that sort of thing, intervened and scattered the Primarchs across the universe while still in their infancy. Rather annoyed by this, the Emperor led the legions across the galaxy, reclaiming, subjugating, or annihilating every world they could find, gradually picking up the lost Primarchs along the way. Eventually, the Emperor decided there were more important things to do and retired from his career of galaxy plundering to go and muck about with ancient science back on Earth, leaving his favourite Primarch Horus in command of the Crusade. All was going well until the Chaos-tainted chaplain Erebus engineered a plot in which Horus would also fall to chaos. Already suffering from some pretty serious daddy issues, Horus gathered half the Space Marine legions to his side and set about waging civil war against the Emperor. This conflict would be known as the Horus Heresy and culminated in a massive invasion of Earth. The Emperor, knowing his forces were outnumbered and on the verge of losing the battle, teleported to Horus's flagship to engage him in mortal combat. But being a sentimental old sod, could not bring himself to kill his favourite son. Horus, having no such qualms, beat the snot out of him. Finally, seeing sense, the Emperor killed him with mind bullets and the Loyalists were victorious. Near death, the Emperor was placed in a huge machine known as the Golden Throne, which maintained its psychic essence at the bargain price of the souls of 1,000 unlucky sods every single day. The Imperium fell into a state of technological regression and brutal dictatorship greatest ship for 10,000 years has been under siege from all sides by every single nasty the universe can throw at it. Basically, life sucks, there's only war, and you're probably gonna get eaten by tyrannids. Have fun.
There we go. So that is the lore. I hope everybody got that. MrMan, did you want to say anything about the lore?
Sums it up nicely for the Space Marine side.
Yeah? Ah, and so, okay, so let's go into, let's go back into this. So, okay, we've got the Emperor. He created Space Marines and the Primarchs to lead them. I think I've got that correct so far. And so there's the different colors of Space Marines. Is that the different factions here, or is that something completely different?
It's just window dressing. They're all Marines. They have one or two things that make them special across the different legions, and they coincide with what the Primarch's intended use is. A lot of the Primarchs are specialized in certain tasks in war.
Right. And so so they were talking about, like, where is this lore from? Is this in the game, or is it in books, or like?
A variety of places. The whole legion aspect is a lot like Rome, where Rome had a lot of legions, and then there was a huge civil war that tore the whole empire in half. It's really reminiscent of that. Dune is heavily influenced on this. If you read Dune, you'll see a lot of this, especially having Empire of Mankind. That's a big influence on it. You can find little twists from everywhere, like the Necrons are kind of like Terminator from the 1980s. I don't know, it's from a funny time. The 1980s had a lot of this kind of stuff come out, and this one just really took off.
Yeah. And so, like, when they all go and attack Earth, and there's this massive fight. Can you actually play that game? Like, can you play?
Yeah, so that's one of the time periods. In my own collection, that's the primary focus.
There you go.
Horus Heresy, where it was a lot of bodies, and then after the Heresy, Rabuda Gilliman, or Girlyman, of the Ultramarines, he wrote this manual for everyone to follow, and part of the manual was to break the legions down so that no single legion could pose such a big threat to Earth anymore. So he splintered all the legions so that none could have more than 1,000. A few legions got around it, like the Salamanders, because another thing happened. I could go way back in the lore, but a couple of the legions were slaughtered, and one of them was Salamanders in a trap by Horus. And that's how Horus was able to get to Earth so easy, is through a series of ambushes and strategies. He was able to get rid of a lot of the main obstacles to him getting to Earth, and then he got there, and then you saw the video.
And so there's different legions. Also, Banana Liquor wants to know which legion has the biggest dick. Stretch. Can you tell us about the different legions, maybe?
So there's 20 legions. 2 of them are considered lost, have background. If you ask about them, people pretend to know not know what you're talking about. The first legion is one of the first that was found, if not the first. Sorry, I might be a little off on my lore on that one, but that one's led by the Lion. He helped the Emperor conquer a huge swath, and as he went, he kind of went and grabbed all of his Primarchs as he went along there. So Horus leads the 6th or something like that. There's 18 legions. I know my lead is 18, and I know the world leaders are 8. Those are my 2 legions. I'm not a lore guy in that sense. If I had the list in front.
I mean, the more basic, the better, I think, for people anyway, as well. So, no, that's fine. Was there anything else that you wanted to point out that the video might have missed, or about lore, or? I'm guessing
the shitload of other factions.
Yeah. Okay.
There's way more than Space Marine. You don't even have to touch on Space Marines, and you could have a good time picking another faction, learning their lore, building an army, and not even touching on this end of it. There's the Tau, which are kind of like space communists. Then you have the Tyranids, which are a huge range of models as well, which is a big factor in picking a faction. Tyranids is one of my friends' main army. He has over 500 models, and a lot of them are different because they also come from different time periods. So they made models in the 80s and the 90s, thousands and on. You keep them in your collection, and that adds to your collection. So the old factions have a lot of models, which adds the for a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's also Necron. There's even more faction. If you don't want to do Space Marine, you can something like the area or called Aterum.
You're just starting to cut out a bit, dude.
Oh, am I good to?
Yeah, I've changed the server region to your area. So much more I can do. It's been pretty good. It was just then. So we got the Necros and something, and then that was about it.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me again?
Yep, sounds good now.
There's Necrons, and then there's even more factions that are inside humanity itself. The Inquisition, Sisters of Battle, which are the female Earth Marines, but not Marines. They just wear power armor. There's Gene Stealer cults, where that's the Tyranids, like they're body snatchers. They take over people and work from the inside to take over a planet, so that when the Tyranids arrive, it's ready to receive them. Because they basically move in on a planet. They're like aliens. They just move in and eat everything and move on.
Okay, cool. Oh, why is Red Foreman trying to get in on the stream? Oh, I'll pull him in. Hey, Red Foreman, you are on the air. What do you have to say?
I feel like you and Sandwich are scaring me with your strong American penises.
Is that right? Oh, okay. Well, it's not really about Warhammer, dude, so why don't you wait and go to your own stream?
I'm a big gay nigger.
Okay, well, that's great. Thanks, see you. Alright, well, that was Red. Thanks, Red, for popping by. Let's get back to the stream.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, what the hell just happened?
They would have.
Give me whatever fucking drugs you're taking.
Alright, so, I think we're going... You wouldn't have heard it, but something happened. Something happened. Alright, so we're going to do that, how to play Warhammer, because I think that's, well, the basic of the game, the basic game sort of thing, at its fundamentals from what I could understand about what I was being shown. So, let's go into this video. It's the how to play Warhammer 40K in 10 minutes for you two guys in the chat. Shame Red Foreman's no longer here. And, let's play it in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm here with Eve from Knights at the Game Table, and we're here today to show you how to play Warhammer 40,000. For those people that have seen the game on our channel but haven't yet played the game or are looking to get into the new edition, then this video is for you. I'm going to attempt to explain how to play the game in 10 minutes or less. Warhammer 40,000 is a game set in the year 40,000 where humans have expanded out into the galaxy and spend their entire time fighting against aliens, demons, and corrupted humans from other civilizations. You take control of one of the different forces. This particular box that we're demonstrating here is the First Strike box, which has everything you need to start playing a game.
You will never see a broad like this in Warhammer, just so you know.
Yeah, I know, wait. And that's why I asked you. I was like, are you sure this is a good video? Because these guys don't look like they play Warhammer. And you're like, no, it's alright though. Like, he does explain it well from what you've said, so.
Specific forces. It has the forces of the Ultramarines, which are the good Space Marines or genetically enhanced humans that are going through galaxy trying to spread the good word of humanity.
The
versus
dude's good.
Death Guard, who are corrupted genetically advanced humans who
Alright, so they've got the Space Marines are genetically enhanced and the Death Guard, which is the female. I don't think he was describing her vagina. I think that was the army that she's going to have. I'm going to put this back to normal.
Short want to stop them.
Well, I'm out if she's not describing her
the game
vagina.
is a turn-based strategy game, almost like a war game, where I will use all of my miniatures and go head-to-head against Eve and her evil miniatures over there.
Well,
Alright,
I
turn-based
wouldn't call
strategy.
it evil. It
Got
depends on
that.
whose side you're on. You know, my guys are actually good guys, and your guys are evil. But that's what I would say. I like playing this game because on the higher level, it's not just about killing each other. It's about winning the game, which can be achieved by different ways. There is special missions, there is special objectives that you need to get, and there is special different quests you can accomplish in order to win. Not necessarily kill your opponent.
Alright,
Just like
I'm
in
gonna-
real war, you don't just go to shoot guys, you actually start a war because you need something out of the other side. So that's how I like playing. I'm very focused on
That chick has a
objectives,
penis.
And I like
Yeah, probably. I'm going to pause at 1 minute 41 though and not speculate on her gender. and instead ask MrMan, who's... No, I don't think we can. I think he's gone deaf.
Yoshi.
Saw doesn't play Warhammer. Well, Yoshi, you are now a mod. MrMan, good to have you back. We've paused it at 1 minute 40. So she was talking about the way there's different ways of playing the game. So there's a turn-based strategy, but it's not necessarily about killing the entire other army, and there's different ways to win. Did you want to explain that a bit? Like the different ways, the different types of games and styles that you play?
There's different aspects of picking a mission that really affect it. I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. So there's narrative missions where you pick a point in Warhammer history and base your armies around that. A lot of Civil War reenactments do this. You can play Civil War, Warhammer, kind of ideal tabletop. They'll pick a battle in United States Civil War history, build all the dudes for it, and fight it out on tabletop. The history of Warhammer is rich like that, where you could pick a point in a codex, build a battle around it, and have a good time. There's also campaign systems where you could start with planetary invasion, move to planetfall, city to city fighting, region to region fighting, the whole bit. When it comes to the individual game, you can win by simply annihilating your other opponent, but a lot of the missions aren't like that. You have different deployment strategies that affect how the mission goes. And then, I haven't played the newest one, but I believe that you can pick your victory conditions for it from from a set that are specific to your faction. So your faction wins wars differently than other factions. Your objective might just be there to, or might just be to go there and kill the leader of the other army. You're all about taking out the HQ of the other opposing guys.
Yeah.
You could also be about killing only vehicles. You're there to smash their material. Things like that. There are different ways to win that aren't just about killing every single model the other guy has.
Yeah, and you were also talking about it the other day where you could do this long campaign and it has different... there's different, I don't know, different battles. So it was like, first of all, invading a planet and then this massive army, and then it would splinter off into other battles. Did you want to give an example of that?
The ideal way would be, there's different sets you could play with. They have a spaceship, which his name escapes me right now. Battlefield Gothic. So you could pick a system with a few planets in it. One guy is the defensive, where he puts garrisons on each planet. The other guy attacks. He has a certain amount of points that he's going to attack with in ground troops, and he also has spaceships. He arrives on the scene, picks a planet, attacks with his spaceships. Depending on the result of the battle, we'll assume that the attacker wins in all of these, just so we can see how far it goes. So the attacker gets there, beats the defenses on the planet. From that point, it's planetfall. Usually they use Titans and very large machines to get the heavy work done before they land ground troops, just like artillery softens up, except they use giant fucking robots. So different kinds of robots land, and this is just the Space Marines. Every faction has a different way of doing this. But for Space Marines, they'll land with all the big shit. Again, if the planet warrants it. You see, nerds are technical, you have to say this shit. So the robots take off across the planet, capturing key regions. From that point on, you could then play ground battles, which would encompass what you'll see in my collection, which are Space Marine troops that you can actually see. Now, if you want to go for the go-between, they make a scale of this game where each squad of troops, like 10 dudes, would be its own individual marker that you could move, and then each tank is about a quarter of the scale, or no, I guess about an eighth of the scale of what you'll see on the table for mine. You can play that version to take cities. Then from that point, you could pick the scale that you see for mine. And then from that point on, you could break it down even more into kill teams, where you might just have to go blow up this one generator so the main portion of the army can move. So then those guys take off and go do that shit. And you can play down to the individual dude if you want, with certain homebrew rules and other ways to go. You can play the role-playing game if you wanted to be a Marine. So yeah, this game is, you can pick any scale you want to play and just go.
Yeah, and we'll get into your army very soon. So, but let's watch a bit more of this. I'm at 141 and 3, 2, 1. I'm also playing
Basic
at
as you can miss.
At the start of the game, you'll choose your force based
Oh, no, I'm
on
playing normal
a
speed.
power level
Okay.
that tells you how good the unit is. The higher the power level, the more powerful the unit, and you both play to an equal level of power. So for example, on our channel, we typically play 50 power level games. However, in our private members site, we play up to 100 power level and sometimes even more. Each unit is represented by these cards that tell you what they can do. You've got all of the different statistics you'll need and all the weapons that they're armed with that let you know what that miniature can do within the game. At the start of the game, we both roll a dice to see who gets the first turn. Whoever rolls highest typically will get the first turn. And then you move through a number of different phases. In each phase, I'll get to activate every single miniature that I control. So first of all, I'm going to have the movement phase, and I've got this beautiful little statistic here that tells me that my intercessor, which is this little space marine here, and these guys can move 6 inches. And thankfully inside this box, we have this lovely little ruler that's 6 inches long. So what I do is put the ruler down next to the miniature, and then I can move it the measurement indicated on his statistics. And I'll do that for every single one of my soldiers. Sometimes you'll see us not use the ruler for the rest of the troops, as we know that if the first one moved 6 inches and the rest stay in vaguely the same position, we know they've all moved about the same. And then I get to do that for every single unit that I have. And then after my movement phase, I'll move into my psychic phase. We're not going to go into that right now because it's one of the more advanced rules and there's no psychic miniatures in this particular box. So after that, we move into the shooting phase. In shooting, and in fact all attacks in this game, it's typically done in a 3-step process. First of all, we aim using our ballistic skill statistic.
Blinking a lot.
After that, we compare the strength of our gun versus the toughness of our enemy to see what we have to roll. And then finally, they get to make a saving throw. So as I already mentioned, the ballistic skill is what I need to roll to hit. So here it says 3 or more, which essentially means I'll take 1 dice for every person shooting. In this case, 3 people, so it'd be 3 dice. And every roll of 3 or higher is a successful shot. So I managed to get 1 of them accurately hit. And now after that, we compare the strength of my gun, which in this case is a bolt rifle with a strength of 4, against the toughness of the enemy. In this case, I'm shooting a Plague Marine, and you can see on their statistic that they have a toughness of 5. So, if the strength and toughness are equal, I have a 50-50 chance of doing it, or rolling a 4, 5, or 6 on a 6-sided dice. However, in this situation, the Plague Marine is tougher than my gun. They've got a toughness of 5 and I have a strength of 4. So now instead of it being even with a 4 up, I need to roll a 5 or higher. And if the toughness was double my strength, then I'd have to roll a 6. However, if my strength is higher, then of course that goes in reverse. Where if my strength is higher than their toughness, it would be a 3 or more, or if it's double higher, it would be a 2 or more. So let's see if I can kill this Plague Marine. I need a 5 or higher. Ha! A 6! Perfect! So, a 6 successfully wounds the Plague Marine. Now we have to see if the Plague Marine's armor can save them. So I'm going to hand this dice to Eve. And Eve, you need to roll. If we have a look here, your save, your SV statistic is a 3+.
Yeah, she has no idea what she's doing.
So you need to roll a 3 or higher to save that Plague Marine.
She came in that morning.
Little guy don't
What?
die.
Warhammer, what's
Oh, a 2. Sadly, the poor Plague Marine gets shot in the head and collapses.
She like storms off the set all disgusted and they stop filming.
After I finish my shooting, I move
Fucking
into my
nerd.
close combat phase. In my close combat phase, I get to do a move called a charge.
You need diversity,
where I'll roll
sir.
2 dice and move
important.
the amount of inches indicated. As long as that's enough to get me in range, then I'll start fighting in close combat. However, before that, my opponent gets to Overwatch. In short, as I'm running in to go punch them, they're going to blast at me with their guns one last final time to try and stop me from doing it. So I've got these 3 Marines here who want to go and charge at these ones. However, she's going to get to shoot at me. So she has 2 shots, 1 for each person. However, these guys have guns that are rapid fire. They shoot.
I think she's blinking because she's falling
at close
asleep.
range. So she's going to roll 4 dice.
Maybe.
But with Overwatch,
Blair
you have
White
to get a 6
blinks
to
a
hit.
lot.
Ah, 1-6. So because they're shooting right up close, they're not as accurate, but one of them did manage to shoot me, so you got a 6. And now we compare the strength of her gun against the toughness of mine. So we can see here, their bolt guns have a strength of 4, an S of 4, and I compare that to the toughness of my intercessor. I've got a toughness of 4. So as I mentioned earlier, if it's equal, it's 4 or higher. So you need to roll a 4 or higher on that dice.
All right, die.
Ah, a 1. You failed to shoot me. Haha, I don't need to make my armor save roll, and instead I'm going to run towards them. So I roll 2 dice. I got a 3, which isn't actually a lot. However, 3 inches is enough to get me close enough to get into close combat. So now I have moved and I've completed my charges. I'll move into my close combat fight phase. So each of my people has 2 attacks, and I know this because the attack characteristic says 2. So I'm going to need 6 dice for this
Camera
one.
was out of focus.
And now this time, I'm going to aim, but not with my ballistic
3
skill,
inches
which
is
for
enough for-
shooting, but with my weapon skill, which is for close combat. Also,
Yeah, you hear that, Yoshi? 3 inches is enough. You're good, dude.
What was that, Mr. Man? You wanted to, you think it, because I'm at about 6 minutes 30, is that about enough to explain it, or? No? Okay. I think he's still watching. We'll keep going. I'm at 6 minutes 39. 3, 2, 1. We'll
So
just
6
we'll
dice,
play
you
a
get
bit more
3
of
or
this, I
higher,
think.
2 fails, but
And then we're
4
going into the
hits.
collection.
So 4 of my attacks were good.
Going into that
Now I'm going to
collection.
roll to wound, so I compare the strength of my intercessor because I'm punching them with my fist, which is a strength of 4. If I had a close combat weapon, I'd be able to use that instead, but these guys are just going to punch with their fists. Our fists are good enough, Eve. And we're going to compare it to a toughness, which, once again, is a 5. So I need 5s or higher. 1 single 5. You guys are really tough. So now Eve will make a saving throw. Once again, it will be 3 or
3 up.
higher.
Come on, survive.
Oh,
man.
1! So sad.
Oh, you
So I have to
suck.
punch this guy in the head and take him out. And now I've finished fighting. She gets to fight back. In the close combat phase, we both will attack each other. You've only got 1 guy left though, and we can see here on the A, he only
Oh
has
wow,
1
going
attack.
first really
So
fucked
she's
her
got
up.
1
What's
dice.
his weapon skill?
His weapon skill is 3 or more.
All
So
right,
3 or
let's do
higher.
it. Yeah.
1. You are not having much luck today. It's not like
she
you're
just
playing the
gets
channel.
she has
she
the
failed
worst
to hit me,
luck.
And that brings us to the end of close combat. And now we move into the morale phase to see if she runs away scared. 2 of her buddies died. There's only 1 guy left. In order to see if he runs away, she's going to roll a dice and add the amount of people that died. So 2 people died.
All right.
Roll a dice and add 2. 3 plus 2 is 5. The leadership of these guys is a 7, which you have to roll equal to that or under, which of course you successfully did. If you'd have rolled a 6, 6 plus 2 would have been 8. It would have been over 7, and that last guy would have run away in fear. But he's not scared, and at the end of my turn, we would now move into Eve's turn, where she would take over. And play would go backwards and forwards like that, typically for 5 turns, or until one person met the victory conditions to win the game. Sometimes you have to secure objectives, sometimes you have to annihilate somebody's leader, and there's all different types of missions, which is why we love the game so much. What we're showing you guys here is the First Strike box set, which has everything you need to play the game. However,
I think we'll stop there at 8 minutes 33 because that was it was a pretty good explanation of just how to take turns in that. But there's tanks and magic and other stuff, Mr. Man. So there would be like explosions and circle rulers that you've then got to put down and all sorts of other stuff.
They did away with a lot of that in older editions when something blew up. Different effects happened, but oftentimes a wreck was left behind, which in itself caused all sorts of problems. The latest version, I think every single thing just blows up, so it's out of the way, out of sight, out of mind, not a pain in the ass.
Yeah, right.
I could be wrong on that, but I think that's how they do it now.
Okay.
Yeah, the main difference, like, that's a good video. It gets the gist of the dice rolling down and the fact that you basically need 3, 4, or 5 to do well for a lot of the situations. You don't have cards like that normally. You'd have a book that has a lot of your statistics in it with a hell of a lot more things to choose from. But for beginners, that's a good set. Everything you need is on a card, easy to read, nice and large.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, because that's a lot of rules. Like, even me, I think, just trying to open that box and trying to work it out by myself, it just seems very technical. Because I have played before, but it was with a guy who had one of those Civil War. He had a little army men as well, and all sorts of different armies. So he knew his stuff, and he would just help me through it because it was just, you would sort of get the general gist by the end of the first game. But yeah, there's a lot of elements to it.
The bar of entry for complicated games makes it hard to make. So there's really been a trend in the last 10 years to make games really easy to pick up and go so that a company can make money right away.
Yeah, well that's the thing, isn't it? It's sort of a big commitment, and we'll see why when we go into your collections, your actual collection. So is there... Oh, so now this is only part of your collection, that is correct? Or it's sort of like the main faction, is that what you would call it? Legion that you've got? Army? You know what?
That's every mostly painted or put together.
Yeah, you've gotten a bit
Yeah.
choppy there again, dude. You know what? I am going to start playing the video, and hopefully we can fix that. Oh, it actually tells you on the screen. God damn it. God, I'm dumb. The 18th Legion Salamanders, led by their Primarch Volkar. That's pretty cool. So that, I'm guessing this one here, that would be the unpainted version. That is on screen. MrMan, if you can hear us, we're at, well, you can sort of follow along on the stream and you shouldn't be too far behind, hopefully. He's not doing, I think he's gassing. What can I do?
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now. There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
The stream's running.
Just trying to get it to be live so I can
Fucking hoser
see where
net,
the hell
man.
you're at. Yeah, it's sucks.
There's a bit of an echo as well. Alright, well, hopefully we can get through this for the moment. While he works it out.
That green robot.
Alright guys, I'm just going to go check to make sure that we've got the server correct for him.
The robots are called.
Yeah, it's still roboting.
Dreadnoughts are.
Kind of comes in, then doesn't.
I understand what the fuck is happening.
Wondering if we get him.
Your ISP's calling you a faggot.
I wonder if we
Live.
get you to disconnect and rejoin. It does help sometimes.
Okay, be right back.
Alrighty.
God damn it, Red. Nobody cares about your rolls, faggot. Shut up.
Alright, let's bring him back in. MrMan, are you back?
It says green now.
Yeah, it's sort of green. I mean, it's red for me, but I seem to be okay. And then I'm green. I'm sort of all over the place because I'm on 4G. Hopefully we can hear you. So, MrMan, are you still there? God damn it.
Yep. If robots on the screen, that's where we're.
One time
We're
we just
started.
made it. Alright, so that
Yeah,
this one's the unpainted one. That's what we gathered. And then you have painted most of these yourself? Was that correct?
Almost all of them.
Almost all of them. That's awesome.
I'd say a good 90% of them. The darkest green ones, when you see the troops all gathered, not paint, I just purchased.
Yeah, okay.
My buddy wanted to sell an army, which is a big part of Warhammer. Guys are selling armies.
Yeah. There you go. Jeez, look at them though. They're just so detailed once they all come out. They're all finished and painted. Alright, so I'll pause and see if MrMan's around to be able to tell us about this guy. See if I can get a good focused shot.
Okay, can you set a live version of the stream off to help on bandwidth? So what are you looking at?
We're looking at... Well, it's hard to explain. It's a guy... It's one of the guys from up the back. He has a eagle crest and 2 guns for hands.
Okay.
Oh, we're at 53 seconds.
On the left, he's got yours on his shoulders. Oh, that'll help. Excellent, thank you.
Just go to the video.
I've got the smaller version playing on my phone.
Alright.
Okay, so that guy is a Contemptor Dreadnought. He was painted for me by a Golden Demon winner. as a thank you for doing a bunch for our community. There's a lot of work in that if you know what to look for. So we see the sculpted smoke there on the left. That's from a flamer. And then on the right there, that's a contemptor pattern assault cannon. He also has battle damage, which has been painted on, and there is some real battle damage. All of the scales that you see have been hand sculpted with a sculpting tool and a lot of patience from a sculpting medium called Green Stuff. It's a resin epoxy mix that you can use to do sculpting that dries quickly and takes paint.
Yeah.
If you look at the base, he's sitting there on lava. If you look at the lava, that's all green stuff that he's taken a really pointy stick, basically, in lava bubbles. It's the most amazing piece that I own. You can also tell I didn't paint it because it doesn't look like anything else. Yeah, that's the prize of my collection, I guess you could say. And he does well on the tabletop too. He's not a legal sculpt. You normally have to have the exact guns on something to represent it. Otherwise, people just say shit is shit, so they could pick the best gun and be like, yeah, that's what I got. And guys will try to get away with that. So to get around that, people try to encourage guys to model exactly what you have. It's called What You See Is What You Get, or WYSIWAG.
Yeah.
So in that one, he uses both those cannons, and he kicks ass.
Oh, okay. I understand. Yeah, because you see this gun, it sort of goes, it's got this purpley sort of rust that goes into this brown at the tip. And then it's actually got the smoke coming out of the side. So that wouldn't be actually part of the original model. I get you now.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he sculpted a lot of that. I'll just run the video, see if I can pick anything else out. Yeah, this one goes to the side. You see the black smoke.
Yeah.
Rotating around. You see the left shoulder pad. All those scales have been sculpted. The back there, he's got the battle damage. That cape on the left, I go and put it back down, but you can see it. It's hanging off the assault cannon.
Yeah.
That is hand sculpted as well.
Oh, wow. Oh, really?
Yeah, he rolled that out and then he layered shit on it. There are some bits on it, don't get me wrong, but you could take stuff and mush it all together with sculpting clay and make some magnificent shit.
That is cool. And then you can see how he's put the wash in there and everything. Yeah, wow. That's amazing.
And he does a lot of that with an airbrush, and then he comes back and touches it up.
Yeah, wow. All right, let's keep moving along. And the little bits of metal.
The next thing you're gonna see, those are land speeders. Next thing you see.
All right, I'll get there. I'll just go forward a bit and going over to the land speeders.
Those are fairly old. I don't really use them anymore. They need some love. Bunch of bits are missing, but they can be pretty good.
And then we're up to the tanks.
Okay.
I'm at 130 pretty much right now.
Okay, so those are the rhinos. So that chassis, just like modern military where they tried to build weapons platforms, essentially, that's their main one. So the rhino chassis is one of the first old world techs that they found. I'm not going to get into it, but they find technology. They don't know how to make it anymore. And the Rhino is one of the first thing they found and one of the most versatile chassis they have. That's the Troop Transport APC version. Holds 10 Marines normally. Rules have varied over the years, but 10 seems to be the standard.
And
I have 4 of them to get my dudes across.
And can you actually fit 10 in there? Like, will it actually open up and fit them in? Or is it just sort of...
You can... Those black opening tops that you see, you can just pull those off. Most of my shit's removable. You pull those off and you could cram about 5 in there. You have to... They're on bases for one thing, so that kind of eats up room.
Yeah.
But it's been a bit of a joke for a while if you could actually get 10 Marines in there.
Yeah, that's why I asked. Yeah. All right, we're moving on to next.
No, what minute are you at?
Oh, and there's the other tanks with the tanks with massive fucking guns. Jesus Christ.
So those are an older style of Rhino chassis. Even though they look different, they're considered the same. It's just a different pattern. So one's a Mars pattern and the other one's a fucking pattern. I can't remember right now. Those side panels that you see on all of them, those were purchased from England. And then on those, oh sorry, I'm behind. Those guns, those are weapons platforms. They're called Thunderfire cannons.
Yeah, right.
Are you on the tanks that have the big guns on the front now, or you pass that?
Yeah. No, that's where we're up to.
Okay, those are Devastator tanks, so those are Rhino chassis with tank destroyer guns on them. Those are different marks that, again, I haven't looked at these in a while, so I can't remember off the top of my head.
It's all
But
good.
the one with the big stubby cannon there, that's the standard pattern of it. And then the other ones have laser destroyers. All of those cloaks that you see dangling off them, I sculpted those myself to cover a lot of the flaws from the casting, mostly. This Rhino that you see is a different, or the next one is called the Land Raider, the big tanks. Those can carry more of the smaller Marines, and they can carry the Terminator Marines. Are you at the pod-looking things now?
Yeah. Yep, I can go to
Those
that.
pods are drop pods. Drop pods are how they will do a planetary assault where they're using troops to get somewhere quickly. 10 Marines pop in there, it lands, they jump out, much like Starship Troopers. Starship Troopers is, I think, where Warhammer ripped that idea off from, because Heinlein is old. I just open it up to show you that inside are little harnesses that hold them in place.
Not fitting
And when they
10 in
land,
there, that's for sure.
No, not that. Not with the bases, no. The big one with the claws sticking out of it is an older pattern called a Charybdis. That one will hold a Dreadnought, those big robots from the beginning. Sorry, the first one was a Dreadclaw. You'll see the big one.
Yeah, the one that was just grey, yeah.
So this is some unpainted shit that I got too. That's flying one is a fire wrap, special flame template so I can put flames on the wing. The unpainted shit here, that's called a Cerberus. Are you looking at a gray tank with a big gun on the front?
Yep.
Yeah, the Cerberus. And then that's the Charybdis I was talking about. I have two of them. They sort of together. This is about when I quit playing for a little while. Just showing you that you could take them apart, so make it easier for storage. The other one will be like that as well. You pop it back on with magnets. That's the Cerastus ram. So either side of those pop down, kind of like D-Day, where they'll ram into a ship, and those will pop down, and they're used for intership combat, or if you want to get into somewhere and make sure they survive.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's a Dreadnought drop pod. It's dedicated to those robots. That one in particular I like to use for that Contemptor, to put them wherever I want. Just showing you again, moving parts. Bread and butter of the army. The Marines have different patterns of armor. This isn't as focused as I'd like, but that's called the Mark V. It's probably my favorite, just for looks-wise alone. Those guys are the close combat weapon and pistol version. Behind them is more Mark 6, I want to say. Can't really tell. And behind them, that's Mark 3. Those guys don't have guns yet because it wasn't decided on what I wanted. And you can also see that guns are interchangeable. They try to build the different guns you can do in a certain way so you can mix and match as needed. These dark green Marines are the ones I bought, mostly just to fill out my army and to help my buddy out. These are the first Marines that I ever painted. They're in the Mark 7 armor, which isn't from the Horus Heresy, so they haven't seen a lot of love. There's a standard bearer, backbone of any army. He has a special decal that I bought. I didn't paint that, that's for damn sure, but I love the look. He's got some special armor that I purchased.
What timestamp are you at?
I'm at 5:45.
Alright,
I'll pause.
Just go ahead a tiny bit. Okay, yep. Alright, we are there. Yep. Oh, wow.
Big orange banner.
I mean, it's pretty impressive. Just the collection as a whole. It's pretty cool.
And imagine the time spent just painting.
Yeah, because I used to know a person that their boy was into this shit. I used to make fun of him.
No, make fun of it. It's nerd shit.
Yeah, I called him a faggot. It's like you're sitting there painting dolls, faggot.
Barbie dolls. Barbie dolls.
When she kicked him out, we found a tub of like weird hentai.
Oh, that was probably Slanesh Damons, I bet. That guy I have in my hand, he's the leader of my army. I sculpted his cloak. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, that's cool. Alright, well, do we want to go, like, we're not going to show the sculpting stuff unless we've got time, but let's pause at about 6:40, and I'm just going to go over, and we're going to go quickly through how to actually paint these. So, do you mainly use Citadel paints as well?
I used them exclusively till this past Christmas when I switched to Vallejo air paints, and then I'm exclusively using GW washes. So I like the Vallejo because I primarily airbrush now, so it's just nicer on my airbrush. And then I really like washes because they cut your time down. Like these guys, I had to not paint them as well as I can now because I want everything to match. Because it's something you see, it's called painter's creep, where a guy will start and it'll kind of look scabby, and then rather than trying to bring everything up, I just paint to a standard that knocks them out quick and everything kind of looks the same. All the rest of what you're seeing is just stuff I don't really need to explain.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, so but it's still the same process. It's still base, wash, dry brush.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go through it then.
Except I just have the airbrush that most won't.
Yeah, so base paint is just getting a color and basically just painting them in one color.
But it's
each
really
area.
important.
Yeah, well, each. So the skin would be one, and then the armor would be another color. So just getting the main color on. Sorry, what were you going to say?
But you want to pick the base color that will result in the least amount of work that you have to do with the brush. So I try to base mostly in green, obviously, so that I can wash that and I can dry brush that. I don't have to worry about any of the other shit until I start picking it out with the brush.
Yeah, because I use this method for painting, but I don't have Warhammer, so this is more for repainting action figures and then props, movie props and stuff like that. Okay, so this little ghoul here has been base coated, and now they're gonna pop on a shade. What is that? The wash? It says shade. Shade it can be used in many ways. So a base coat, it just looks like this flat color, but once you put in a wash, it just sinks into all of the little crevices and everything, and then that's when it really starts to come alive. It just looks so amazing once you put a wash on. Just the difference as soon as you do that, and it's pretty easy to do. You just slosh it on and it just sinks into all the crevices. Anything you wanted to add?
Done deal.
Yeah, it's a done deal.
Yeah, no, that's
so there's
the
different
washes are the fastest way to really get work done. Like if you want to get a lot accomplished with a minimal amount of even talent in it, and that's not a diss on anyone. Sometimes you just want to knock a bunch of dudes out. You don't have to take a lot of time with foot soldiers. So just getting her done, washes really get it done.
Yeah.
And they have new contrast paints, which do even better.
And so look at the difference. So yeah, this ghoul was just very flat and basic, and now look at the difference once you put the wash on. It just really starts popping. So this guy's gonna put a whole bunch of washes on. This one's he's doing a wash on a base, I think. Yeah, so he's putting it on some rocks that he's got as well. Just making it
That's my favorite. Egg Rex.
Alright, so he's now, what's he doing now? Oh, he's doing layers. So the layers is like it's like a semi-transparent paint, and you just pick highlights. So it's like the high up sort of edges and bits like that, and you get a color that's just a bit brighter than what the base is. Would that be correct? With
Bang on.
Paints? Yeah. I'm doing well. I don't usually do too much layering when I do the props and stuff, because I'm doing massive big things, and the dry brush seems to
don't
work
even
well.
do it.
Yeah.
I just dry brush, which is kind of the same but different.
A lot of people, I'd say there's quite a few people that skip this process. Okay, now does this guy...
On your key stuff, though,
so this
makes
guy
all
is-
the difference.
Yeah, this guy's basically doing what I would do with just a dry brush. Alright, so he's doing all
It's
the
like
highlights.
women's makeup, same process.
And this is what he looks like near the end. And now they're going to get into the dry brushing, dry paints. Here we go. So dry brush is a very particular technique. You get it's a short, little, tiny, fat brush. This brush is even shit, but it's a bit old. And then you rub it into like paper towel, which is what he's going to do. So you only want a tiny bit on your brush, and that's why you rub it into the towel, and then you just go over the top of everything. Just dry brushing it on. You just be really, really light, and it just picks up all of the little bits that are sticking out, basically. And you'll just see this, and that's when and once you've done your base coat, you wash, well, this is what I do, base coat or wash, and then just dry brush. It just absolutely, it looks amazing. And anybody can do it. And that's what I realized when I was painting. I was just like, oh my god, you can make anything look great with this process. Yeah.
Paints make a difference too. GW makes it way easier than they used to. Colors. You pick colors, and they would have beautifully painted models, and they'd say, we use these colors. How? They wouldn't tell you the processes involved. They'd just be like, these were the colors that were used by them, and good luck. And then they decided to, I don't know, like divvy out the range and easier to understand. I don't know. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, now they have the technical paints, and they tell you the steps that you got to do. But lace coating, layers are for layers.
They've made it a lot easier now. Yeah, and that's when I picked it up, and it was just like, oh my god, they've got a paint for everything. You just pick up the paint for what you're doing. You just follow the process, really. So he's doing a glaze for this army soldier as well. It's a different step if you want stuff to look shiny at the end. We'll see the end process. There it is there with the glaze. Now let's get into...
Glazes are great.
Now let's get into textures. So he didn't dry brush this ghoul, he just did layers instead. But he's going to put on some mountain snow. So he's going to give the ghoul some mountain snow. You can see the paint, it's very thick and sandy. And he's going to put it on the base. And it's going to end up looking like he's actually walking in the snow. Now they have one for... Well, they have other ones. They've got ash, they've got moss, they've got a one, this is the one I love, is a dried, it's like mud. And you paint it on, and then it cracks. And it's cracked mud. And it but it sits perfectly. And it looks amazing when you're done with it. So let's see, so he's just basically putting it on really thick. Let's see what it looks like once it dries. Oh, so you have to he dry brushes the top, I think. Or kind of. He just picks up the highlights. And let's see what it looks like at the end.
This is amazing. I've never seen this snow before.
Well, and there's the blood paint looks amazing, and then the pus.
Seen the blood.
That is great as well. So with the blood paint, you can put it on into like, well, I've got like Jason Voorhees, and I repainted him. And I could put, I put the blood paint into where his spine was all showing out, but then I put the pus paint in at the same time, and it would mix together into this bloody pus mix, and it would actually swirl and everything. Over time, it kind of sets, but it looks fantastic. It's just amazing, all the texture paints that they have. But that's basically the process. We need to get back to your video, though. I am at 6:41, sir, and I'm pushing play.
Sorry, 6:41?
Yeah, around that, yeah. So, yeah, is there anything else you wanted to say about the painting or anything like that? About paints?
Just painting in general? You don't have to do it yourself. It costs you a pretty penny depending on what you want to pay for, and you really do get what you pay for. And apparently everyone's a pro painter, so you really have to look around, get quotes. They'll do the whole thing for you too. If you don't want to build, you don't want to, fuck, they'll even build you a good army. Just say, I want a good Blood Angels army, and they'll pick you shit out, build it for you, paint it for you, send it for you if you're willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
Boom, you can start playing. Yeah, this is just all the heavy weapons and shit.
Yeah, there's a guy on Bitwave that I was chatting to that said he might drop by that actually sells paints and sells stuff.
You can make good money if you're willing to do it.
YouTube poop free today. Okay. Punky's on some sort of weird tangent. All right, and Captain Weeb donated $1 too. Just wanted to stop by while I'm streaming to wish you all well for the Emperor. Oh, Captain Weeb is streaming as well today. Everyone's streaming right now at the same time, stealing my time spot. You need to go fuck them up, Stretch. Just saying. Ooh, I won't stand for this. Because I think UA streaming, Failures doing 24 hours. I shouldn't be promoting that, shouldn't I? No, don't go to them. Fuck them. Stay here. Watch this amazing collection. Alright, so there's... So he's just got like a basic green.
You can see the top of the green is lighter on the guy. Tried this called Zenith. I do a poor man's version of it. But again, when you're standing up and looking down, if the tops are lighter, adds more to the effect of realism.
Yeah, okay.
You're just seeing specialty troops after this. Like the guys with the jump packs. Self-explanatory. Quick guys on motorbikes. I got a smattering of a bunch of stuff because sometimes I just like to own the models to own. This is just a panoramic shot of everything.
Yeah. Looks great. Oh, I missed the text, so I'm gonna go back and see if we can pause on that. It's very quick.
Yeah, it's too quick. It's like a second. It
Alright,
looked like
here
it
we
was
go.
longer when I made the video.
I got it. The Sisters of Battle, Order of the White Rose, the Forces of the Inquisition, led by Inquisitor Wilson. It's a bit of a gay name. Craftworld, Yumlock of the Elder?
Ymelok, or Maylok, I don't know. I don't know if the Y is silent or what, but it's YMELOC. Different craft worlds, different names. It's just like where
it's
they
the same
hail
table,
from.
but just full of another fucking army. Man, that's a lot of things. Wow.
So these are 4 different armies technically. But you could actually ally all of the stuff in one army if you wish to.
Oh, okay. Oh, there you go.
So, are you still playing? Like, where you at in the video?
Yeah. I'm
Just
at
so
950. We're looking at some sort of organ?
950.
It's like a bloody organ's been taped onto the top of a tank.
Yep, so that thing is a relic from the age of apostasy.
Right.
You'll notice it's on a Rhino chassis, which a lot of shit is. So those are missile launching platforms, and the random and the people just play hymns, and some of the battle hymns shoot different amounts of missiles. So it's just a fun little characterful thing.
That's really funny.
That was my first army, was the Sisters of Battle. When I went into this, I wanted to pick an army not a lot of people played. Add to variety, because there was tons of Marines. So I picked the Sisters of Battle. That was a bad decision. That is never a reason to get into Warhammer. So I got a little bit amount of them. You'll see there's just a ton of them. I bought my buddies. So the girls in the white, I didn't paint. I just bought them. I bought a majority of this army. Everything in the red I did. Dude on the big chair is on a dreadnought body. He's called Inquisitor Karamazov. He has a lot of power. He could blow up a planet if he wanted to in the game.
Blow up a planet, Jesus.
Oh yeah, they don't fuck around in the Imperium. If it's too taken by chaos, they'll just blow your shit up. The entire doesn't matter if anyone's on it. Rather than let chaos invade, they call exterminatus, and he could call that if he wanted to. The Inquisitors have the authority to do that kind of shit.
Yeah, wow. And that guy had angel wings just back there. I've gone past it now. Okay, we're up to...
That was a chick.
10:55. Just so you know. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, wow. Oh, it's got other people in there. This dude reading a scroll.
Yep. They're called servitors, so they're like... the Imperium doesn't waste anything. Not even criminals, people. If they can put it to work, they will. So if you're some sort of piece of scum or you're a nobody, they could take you, put a bunch of cybernetics in you, and put you to work. So those are people that have been infused with robotics and cybernetics to do certain tasks. Serving tasks. Servitors.
Oh, wow.
So because they don't do robots, because they had a big robot war, which has been ripped off from Dune, where the robots kicked the shit out of them. So they were like, no more AI, because AI can get out of control. So the way is by using servitors. The guys in the red armor, are you at them?
Yeah.
That
I went
So
back
those
a bit,
are
but I'm at 11:10 now. 11:30. I just
Okay.
got blood on his sword, Jay.
So that's a demon sword. So this is, I like Deadpool, and I always have. So that's 3 versions of Deadpool if he was an Inquisitor. There's 3 different branches of the Inquisition. There's Ordo Malleus, which is about demons, Ordo Xenos, which is about killing aliens, and then Ordos Hereticus, which is about killing the bad people on your side, like the true Inquisitor. I think I got that right. If I got it wrong, I'm sure someone will tell me. So each one is just a version of him. Each one has the actual weapons they'd have. They're all names I won't get into, but each one has a specific purpose. The guy with the yellow thing on there was the very first sculpt hat I ever did. It was just me gluing bits on. That's the first Inquisitor ever made. And from here on, there's just, this is the most expensive army I own. That army is worth all the other armies put together.
Yeah, wow.
Just because of the bits and these red tanks that you see. Those are $300 each with all the kits that they have. Remember, I pay Canadian dollars, so this is all Canadian dollars. So all those people have been bought and modeled. That giant gray tank, that's the Inquisition can requisition anything they want. So I picked the biggest, baddest tank that they had that I could get, and that's what I bought. So that's Deadpool's ride.
Wow.
And he can put that in a list.
That's fucking
That's
huge.
them.
You could fit 10 Space
So this
Marines
is
in
the... Oh, fuck yeah. There's and again, that's a chassis, or a chassis. So you can put, there's different versions of it. There's like 10 different versions of a Bane blade, including a troop carrier, which can carry about 30 dudes.
Yeah, wow.
So this is the army that is the army I identify as for 40K. This is my favorite army, the Grey Knights. It's the one I want to put the most effort into. The Inquisition, the red guys that are, but when it comes to playing this game and wanting to kick ass and liking your army, the Grey Knights are mine. Spent a bunch of money on them too. And the big tall guy in the back there, that's not how he normally looks. So when I cut away and go and look at a box that I have, that's how they're supposed to look. Basically, they have a guy strapped in the front of them like a baby carrier. It looks fucking gay.
Yeah.
But it ended up looking a little too much like a Ninja Turtle. So here I am walking away.
Yeah.
That's what he looked like. So you can see the dude strapped to the front. I think it's gay. So I said, fuck that. And I could still use it. As long as it's on that base and it looks somewhat the same, most people don't care. Storm Raven, that's something again I modified. I didn't like how the back was open. So you could see that stuff that I added on the back. That's just an extension. I found it looked a little more balanced that way. And again, I walk over and show you what it should actually look like. Well, maybe I don't. Thought I did. That's the leader. He was painted for me by that Golden Demon guy as well, but he didn't like it because it was small. That's why he painted the Contemptor instead. Didn't paint that. He did a nice job. The video doesn't give it justice. That's a bad. That's banner is sculpted that way, so I just had to paint the bits, but very detailed.
Yeah, wow, look at the detail of the flag. That's cool. Or the banner.
That's Castellan Crow. He's a special character. He's been modeled by someone else. He did the base and stuff, but I'll paint him. I bought a guy's army. Those are the last things I painted before I stopped playing Grey Knights. That's how they're supposed to look, with the red gun, different heraldry on each shoulder pad. I'm going to try to do it all differently, because there's only like 1,000 Grey Knights in all, so each one should have a name, and they have nameplates on them. You can see the silver band on the side, and I have tried to name every single, because I'm a nerd like that. Now this is my only Xenos army. Truly Xenos, or alien. I painted this army and bought this army as part of a slow grow leak. So lots of parts of Warhammer to get it off the ground and get moving models, and they do promotions, and the stores can do. So all the foot soldiers in that, if I bought one box, I got another box. So that's self-explanatory.
Yeah.
All the tanks. The backstory of the craft world that I picked, they had all the high-tech technology, the really, really rare shit, the stuff that no one else had. There's a place in England that sells direct that you can pay a little more money for a little more unique, essentially. And that's called Forge World. You can Google it. They make the nice shit. All of those tanks are Forge World tanks, just to keep that going.
Yeah.
Dude that I picked up by himself is the leader. He has every single one of those pieces. I like the Eldar. If I had to liken them to any sort of culture nowadays, or even in Earth's history, I would liken them to the Japanese, where Japanese don't really half-ass anything. Like when they go to it, they go to it. So the Eldar live for a really long time. They're space elves, essentially. So rather than going crazy, they try to pick a path, and they really perfect themselves on that path. So it's the path of the warrior, the path of the spellcasting warlock, the path of this, the path of that. You can really get into it. And then those paths have subsections as well, so you could go striking scorpion if you like to ambush shit. This little army of dudes are the most recent thing that I've fully painted. It's called a Necromunda. So when I was talking about breaking into smaller scale, they have gang warfare. So there's a planet called Necromunda where there's a bunch of competing gangs, kind of like 1930s New York, where each faction or gang has its own little shtick to it.
Yeah.
Nice thing about those guys can level up. So normally your statistics are set in stone, you use them all the time. This is one where you meet battle after battle, and as you meet, guys can die forever too out of your list. That was my original gang, is what they're called. That's the most recent thing that I'm working on right now. I'm just in the midst of painting those little robots. So when I talked about a planet being taken over and there was a big robot battle, those robots exist in the 40K scale, but they're huge. They're like 24 inches. There's a version of the small clamshell ones. If you want to skip ahead like 20 seconds, because it just sits there while I try to fucking adjust it, you'll see the big robots now, and then you see the little version of those big robots. So that little version of those big robots could be another version of the game that it can be fought in. Those are probably the nicest things I've ever painted that I'll say about myself. I've spent a lot of time on those.
Oh yeah.
Those are called knights. Each one of those has one dude in it. So imagine like the knights of old had a horse that they charged around on, and they were considered the highest form of warfare for their time. So for this, rather than riding a horse, they ride a fucking killer robot. The killer robots can have different weapons loadouts. They could do anything. They could be anti-tank, they could be anti-person, they have big Gatling guns, they could shoot tank melting weapons. They're great. So I made an army full of those for fun. But the biggest scale model that you can play on the tabletop is called the Warlord Titan. It's 24 inches normal. I believe it's 30 inches tall if you put missile launchers on the shoulder. That robot exists in the game that I'm playing right now, but it's only 6 inches tall. Just so you can see, like, if you want to play anything in this game, you pretty much can if it's in regards to warfare, or even just liking the game and playing a portion of it. Or the lore, I guess.
Crazy saying these guys don't go under $500. Wow.
Oh yeah, and Titans are expensive. It's like $3,000 Canadian, I think, for a Titan.
Holy
the Warlord.
Shit!
Yeah.
Wow.
And people, and that's the thing, right? That's a bar of entry for this game, is the price tag.
Yeah. Well, that's it, isn't it?
But I compare it. My buddy has a Skidoo that's worth $18,000. My army's probably worth about $15,000 all totaled up. So I have something that'll last forever. His Skidoo's gonna go shitty one day. I see it as an investment, I guess.
Yeah, crazy.
People just spend their money their own way.
Like the Knights to the Terminator, so the Titan to the Knight. Alright, so if people want to call in at this point and ask MrMan some questions or talk about their own collection and just be autistic as possible, then jump into the waiting room. I think I've got a link. I think I could probably do that if I expires in one day. Fine, we'll go with that. Where can I put it?
Those knights aren't the biggest models I've painted. I've painted a Warhound Titan. Those are pretty big. They're about 16 inches tall. 14 actually.
3,000 sounds reasonable for a model, right?
Yeah, I don't own a Warlord. And plus, you have to think of the practicality. Are you going to use it in a game? Who's gonna want to fight something that big? Not a lot of people.
Yeah, that's it. All right. So let's see. Anybody else asking anything? No one seems to be jumping in. Oh, I got some DMs. I can never see DMs because it doesn't give you a notification sound if you're in streamer mode, just so you know. Yo, here is the Space Marine. And this is from Cruzy. Here is a little bit of what he is talking about. Let's see what Cruzy's bought us.
Yeah, Space Marines are pretty cool. They're genetic engineered killing machines. They have specialty fucking insides that they can spit poison. They can breathe in space for a little while. They have all powers built into them, I guess. Besides superhuman strength and shit like that.
Alright, well this should be okay to play. It's like a fan film. The Lord Inquisitor Grey Knight's teaser trailer. I'm going to put it in on air links for you, if you want to follow along. It's a shame I can't do the live feature in the VC today, but it's just don't have good enough internet. And we'll go from the start, if you want to play along. In 3, 2, 1, go. It's only a minute.
Yeah, the fans really make this stuff come alive. GW just never get to the point where they want to make a movie, or I don't know what it is. But I think a Warhammer movie done properly would just be amazing. But it's the done properly part.
Well, that's it, isn't it? Alright,
this
this
climate,
sounds like it's
it
going to be
doesn't help.
music, so I'll just go turn it down a bit anyway. Yeah, because there's a lot of different licenses and games and books and all sorts of different stuff for Warhammer that I've seen. Oh, they made a movie? It sucked. Okay.
I am the point of his spear.
The video games, that's what it is.
I am the bane of his foes, and the woes of the treacherous. I am the end.
Right. So it's got its own fan films and all sorts of stuff. So have you played? So there is quite a lot of video games and all sorts of other stuff. Have you played many of the computer games or read the books?
I've tried to play every single one I can since the 90s. It's always appealed to me.
And so did you play the big MMORPG, the Warhammer Online stuff?
I played the classic one, like the one set in the old world, like Warhammer, not 40K. But I didn't know if the 40K MMO ever got off the ground. If it did, I didn't play it, but I didn't know that it was a thing.
It was, but it failed. It didn't do too
Okay.
Yeah, because okay, so I more come of it from the I more liked the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 2nd edition, which is like Dungeons and Dragons but a lot more intense. You don't even choose your character. You have to roll the dice and you end up being an accountant going down and fighting demons and sewers, and you can lose an arm. Now, losing an arm may sound bad, but then you have good dodge potential stats, so... and you just get used to it.
One less thing to lose.
Yeah, that's it. You just get used to it. And if you go anywhere near Chaos Well, you're going to have a bad time. You're going to get mutated, but mutations aren't always that bad. You can actually get really good mutations. You'll smell, and people won't want you in bars and stuff, but otherwise it'll be pretty good.
I didn't find it appealing. I don't like the system of dice. I like to have something I can depend on when I play a role-playing game. But I have played it. I know what you mean. It can be fun if you're into that kind. Yeah.
I
but
love
RPGs,
it, yeah, because I find that Dungeons and Dragons was just a bit... it's a bit too, let's all sit down and have a rest and nobody dies and all of this other crap, and I just, it just gets annoying. I just find it a bit too simple. But the game I really like, because it's based on it, is Mordheim City of the Damned, where it's based on one of the board games, but it uses
it is
stats.
so good. Yeah, I love this game. This is better than the tabletop version. I've played tabletop more. That Necromunda game I was talking about, that's Mordheim in 40K. Same idea in this. Well, the factions in this are the gang and Necromunda. These guys, when they level up and lose arms and shit,
Yeah.
you do that Necromunda too.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
and you can lose an arm, you can lose an eye, but
Yeah.
again, you'll get better defense stats and other things like that. So, you're gonna get people are gonna have a bad time in this game. You're gonna lose people and get fucked up. But I do. It's turn based. It's all the base 10 stats that come from the different game. From the fantasy roleplay sort of stuff where you have to roll, but it's all within a computer game. So I love it. I think it's great. You got to go around into this town, fight other factions, collect loot, and try and get Warpstone. Basically, your main name of the game is getting Warpstone. So it's a good game. It's challenging, or can be challenging. You can just have a shit roll and lose, and you're just gonna lose all your dudes, even though it's like 3 versus 1. I've had that happen. I just couldn't fucking roll right. When you start leveling up, it's not as bad though. So yeah,
it's just so unforgiving. Like when you lose, you lose. But
Yeah.
sometimes it can be super random, where you could lose every guy and have no lasting ill effects. Like everybody just miraculously makes a decent recovery.
Yeah, it's weird. It is very odd. But
what I like
to
about it
manage
is
it
how you
right,
move around.
it's not too brutal. It's not too bad. Well, yeah, you get. Sometimes I just walk away from it for months. I'm like, oh fuck this, fuck you. It's one of those. And I don't usually play games like this. I don't usually play games that are quite challenging, but this just reminded me of it too much. It reminded me of the fantasy roleplay stuff a bit too much, and I loved it. So what else is there? There's a Space Marine game.
I never played the Space Marine game. I've heard good stuff about.
Yeah, it's
that's
like a
the game you want to play
first-person
if you want to experience
Vermintide
the
sort of thing.
tabletop closeness. Yeah, there's Dawn of War 1, which was a lot like Command and Conquer kind of style, and Dawn of War 2, which broke it down into more small tactics, which is the one I've played the most. And Dawn of War 3, kind of a mix of the two. I was supposed to play it with my cousin. I never actually really got into it, so I can't say too much on it. But Dawn of War really reflects it well. Space Marine does Space Marine well. There's also the one where you're a Terminator. Fuck, what is it? Where you're in the spaceship. Space Hulk. Thanks. Yeah, there's Space Hulk. I'm missing it. Yeah, other than that, those are the ones that pop into my head right away. Oh, I guess the Depth is Titanic is game with the robots. That's a video game version. And the spaceship battles that I was talking about, Battlefield Gothic. There's Battlefield Gothic 2 out right now. All these games are on Steam. If you type 40K in the Steam search bar, you'll get a plethora of. They pour their gaming license out, no problem.
Yeah. And so here's Vermintide, which is
Not fun.
more of the medieval stuff, Left 4 Dead style. 4 characters.
Yeah, Vermintide's really popular.
Lots of fucking enemies. I played the first one. I haven't played this one. Looks good. I just keep playing Nazi Army Trilogy because it's third person. I prefer third person, so I haven't played it. But yeah, you will kill a lot of things in this game. You will kill just shit tons of stuff by the end of any round. It gets relentless. Here they come. Just keep killing. Just hack everything.
Hack and slash.
And then there's like they'll set off the hordes, and then they all come at the end. And
destructible environment looks good.
Waiting to be.
Yeah, I've never. I recognize. That's one thing. A lot of the monsters are anything you, generally, which is kind of cool.
And then the other one, I like ARPGs, and there's also Chaos Bane. But this is getting outside of the Space Marine sort of stuff.
But one thing I can say about this, the dice rules for all of these different games, they're all really close. Like when you play 40K, or when you play Horus Heresy, or when you play even old style Warhammer, excluding Age of Sigmar, even then there's a lot of similarities. You're always trying to get the same numbers. 6 is generally good. When you roll 2 dice low is generally... They have a lot of rules of thumb that stick across all the different ways to play the game.
This is great.
What game is this?
Chaos Bane. So it's like the ARPG, like the Diablo sort of style. I've heard, like I wanted to play it, but then it's like a really short campaign. It doesn't have a lot of content. You finish it within a few, you do all of the dungeons within a few hours, and then you just start leveling up, and within like 10 hours you're completely leveled up. So I don't know. It's a bit slower than Diablo. Like with Diablo, it's just, I don't know. It'd just be like, well, I'd rather play Victor Vran or Diablo, I think. Because I still play Diablo 3 on fucking Switch. Because it's good, because you can run a Rift and do it in 15 minutes, and it's mobile. But yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of other stuff with the Warhammer license. They love shilling that fucking license. There's just hundreds of things that come out of the Warhammer license, as well as
and
the
quality varies. Quality truly varies. Sometimes a company will get it bang on, and other times, what were you thinking, GW? And then you remember they were thinking about money. Can't hold it against them, but at the same time, as a consumer over the years, because you could talk about just this company and shit talk just their company for hours. Man, their company does some shit. For one thing, they will market new armies or the newest flavor of the month, or the newest faction that they're going to release. It's the flavor of the month for rules. They've been notorious for releasing new rules with new models with super awesome rules. A lot of other models, it's like, what the hell would you even play? There are some pretty egregious cases of this over the years with Grey Knights popping into it. I've started Grey Knights when they were in 4th edition, and then everything switched over to 5th edition. 5th edition was really bad for this, where there were armies with old rules, and there were new armies being released, or old armies with new rules for 5th edition being released, where people weren't even playing the older armies. I picked Grey Knights because I just thought they looked cool. Winning wasn't that important. You don't get into Warhammer if you want to win all the time. That's for damn sure. So it's an unforgiving game. The dice can go against you. Even if you have that flavor of the month, it could still go against you. But when they released 5th edition Grey Knights, it was to the point where there's the whole tournament circuit. Again, you can get really deep down this rabbit hole. The gist is, a lot of the armies that were finishing top 9, sometimes 10 of them would be Grey Knight armies. That's how good they were in comparison to all other armies in this entire game. There's almost 20 factions. I'd say about at least a dozen at that point. Yeah, so, and that's on the company for making... Well, it's on the company, it's on the consumer too. Because I had Grey Knights, I could have went down that path, but I just shelved, because then nerds are going to be nerds, and you'll get stigmatized at the club. I had guys repeating shit to me that they heard on podcasts, acting like I'm an asshole, to the point where I'd have to pick up my metal, and that was how you could prove that you played it. You weren't just a bandwagon jumper. I had all metal models in my army. I didn't want to buy the new armies, the new models at the time, because I still had old shit I had to paint. I had a rule: I don't buy new things until I'm done painting my old stuff. A rule I...
Cruzy's also saying, 3rd edition Demon Hunters.
Cruzy's a faggot.
So yeah, there's all the tournaments and things like that. And in Brisbane, there's the Warhammer, the Games Workshop store. It's very small, but it's got 2 tables. But then there's Ace Comics, and they have a whole massive room of just tables, and you can go there and play D&D twice a week, and you can go there and play Warhammer as well. And you see them in there sometimes, and there's just all sorts of shit going on. And they have tournaments and all sorts of stuff as well. So there's also painting.
Gaming places can make dough.
Pardon?
I said gaming places can make dough if they got a nice place to play at, decent scene, the owner's not a dick, and shit, if they got alcohol or food, that's a bonus. But yeah, nerds will come if you build a place for them to play at. Not a lot of people have the storage or even the room to have a 6 foot by 4 foot table. The room that you saw, I built my house, built that room to be my Warhammer room, and it's too fucking small. But yeah, if you have a place, they'll just set up a bunch of tables. Guys will come there. If you have merchandise, you'll do even better. But you can kill your group because you'll have guys that'll go there every Saturday just because they have nothing else to do. A lot of guys that play this game don't have women to have to main, so they have disposable income. They'll just buy shit just to buy shit.
They even down here in Texas, they have like places set up that are like specifically like Warhammer fucking stores. They sell Warhammer shit, and they got these big ass fucking tables set up in there for you to like do your shit. And there's like quite a few of them actually. It's actually pretty popular.
Yeah, if you have disposable income, it's that easy because you need to have.
Some of this paint.
Yeah,
I
it's
hear
big in
those dudes
Texas.
talking.
Texas has a big scene.
Time consuming and fucking money consuming.
Yeah.
And they get really hooked into it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Warhammer nerds are passionate, but that's what I like about them too.
Sorry guys, they're both cutting out on me. So much I can do.
Oh, lost stretch.
Dropped. Yeah, he's on his phone at the moment.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure what's
Something I'll say
happening. I'm
about
guessing happy hour are being rude cunts and just can't wait another 15 minutes. So whatever. I mean, they play an hour of music anyway, so fuck off. Just go. Well, why not just start your music or whatever early?
God damn it! I'm gonna miss Hank Hill's twerking.
I'm sure you'll get up if they're gonna be rude. I mean, they know what the time slot is. And this is set up for the FTW and other people within this community. So, but I'm just going through.
Let's not be cog about it.
Oh, they are waiting. Well, that's nice. I hope they are.
Yeah,
Look
let's not be cog about it. Jump to.
Oh, that's amazing. Can you see my screen? Can you see the stream screen at the moment, Mr.
Yes. Orcs. I can't believe I didn't mention Orcs now. Awesome. They're one of the most fun to play factions and look at. The modeling potential that you're looking at. I think that's one of the new Chaos. I can't remember what they're called right now. Hellbrute. Might be a Hellbrute. It might even be a kit bash for all I know. Nice thing about Chaos is you can take a whole bunch of pieces from other kits and smash them together. As long as it looks close to what it should look like, fuck. There, that's what it is.
My bad, my mom called me.
Alright, oh wow. Great. Oh cool, look at this guy.
Some guys are just insane. Like, I'm not a good painter. They're fucking amazing painters.
Yeah. I saw there's
They
new
put so
gemstone
much-
paints as well. I haven't tried them yet, but you can make these just a little circle on a bit of plastic. You can make it look like it's a glowing ruby. Look at the and see, so you can see in this bone. In bone, you can really see it. Oh, god damn it! I'm fucking up my webs,
dude.
You can really see the wash. Like, you know, the base paint would be white, and then you can really see where the wash is sort of sunk in to all of the gaps.
That's a Tyranid. What is that? Oh,
I have no idea. I don't even know if that's what.
No, I'm asking my buddy. He's the Tyranid guy.
Ah, okay.
Zoanthrope? That's a Zoanthrope. Thanks.
Close image. I fucked up the images. Let's go back this way then. Yeah, wow.
That's very cool. Cool thing about the Tyranids is they, like with the Eldar, everything has it's a faction, it's Tyranids, but within that, there's sub-factions. And the sub-factions for Tyranids are different paint schemes. So you can tell they're called hive worlds. You can tell where they're from depending on the paint scheme. So you can really take something that's been established and still make it your own, and just say, oh, I'm from a hive world that has discovered, so this is my color scheme. And guys do that all the time.
Yeah. I think this is showing the process of him painting it, because that looks like the base.
Yeah. See that green? That's him sculpted. So he sculpted all that green.
Oh, so he's actually sculpted that.
And you smush it. Yeah, you smush it in your fingers and warm it up. You can push it where you want, and then you finish it. Yeah. all
It's
my
like he
cloaks.
might have
sculpted.
done
I
a bit
like
more to the, made the axe a bit bigger as well. It's hard to tell.
It's
Right.
tough to say. I can't tell in the picture. I'm watching it low res.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
green, I know, is green stuff for sure. A lot of the time, you can take bits and cut them. So what he might have done was take parts of a few hammers, cut them with a razor blade, and then glued them together. I've done that on a lot of my models. Guys take pride in the fact that you can't tell whether it's been customized.
He's got blood dripping off the hammer, off the axe. Sorry.
Oh, fuck yeah. Guys
It's actually dropping
put
down.
lights. Guys will take LED lights, rhinos, the whole bit.
Cutting out a bit. Yeah, wow. It's just amazing some of the detail that comes out on them.
The base too. You did a nice job on the base.
Oh,
basing is a big part of it.
Oh,
you
here
can
we
buy
go.
bases that already have rocks on them.
Hmm.
That's an Eldar Spirit Seer. Great eye.
That's cool. You can see the
Or
blood
no,
paint.
fuck that. Low res. Can't tell. Also
Oh,
not
check your DMs for a demon.
Carnifex.
Alright, crazy. They don't do VC. Alright.
Carnifex, right?
So this is crazy. The Demon Knights, I think. Is that what? And I'm pretty sure that's what he was wanting to fight you with. So he was saying, "Fight me IRL." These are cool.
Yeah, we was doing a thing, but I was trying to get him to come because he knows 40K.
Yeah, what's
and
he
he would be able
streaming?
to
He's
riff
streaming
on this
today as well. So everyone's streaming.
He's streaming with Gene. He's streaming with Gene. Horror movie.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, look at this one. It's got heaps of. Look at all those breasts. That's what I imagine Punky pics would be like. Snake body, 20 tits.
Slanesh. When you see that shit, you just think Slanesh right away. There's the 4 Chaos Gods. They all have. There's Nurgle, he's rotting and pus and grossness. And there's Slanesh, which is the Eldar god that was created from all of their degeneracy. Because they're a bunch of degenerate fuck. Although, I don't know if they're degenerate as the NSFW and FTW. Degenerate fucks that were so degenerate, they made a god of degeneracy. That's Slanesh. And
That's called
there's
getting
Tzeentch,
cooked to the
who's
internet, guys.
unchained.
We've got to
He's a
accept
tricky
it.
fuck. And who am I missing? Korn, the god of slaughter. Can't believe I forgot him.
Yeah, Nick
What?
Ricada likes to talk
What
about
god?
all the different gods. And
Yeah, Nick
Slanesh
strikes me as
and all.
a chaos guy. And there's types too. You can tell a lot about a person from the type of army that they make too. And you'll find that you get along with people who share your ethos on armies. It's pretty funny sometimes.
Oh wow, look at this one. Holy shit. And the cracked tiles. Wow. Yeah, I don't know about many degenerates in this area of the internet. Not at all.
You're cooked at that point.
That Dreadnought's off.
I mean, it's not like anybody's been online saying silly stuff for the last few weeks.
I know that you're fucking faggots, and I'll take the brunt of all of you fucking cunts. Oof, oof, oof.
Dreadnought.
But oh, well, we're doing a collectibles stream, and we all know that.
I know that you're fucking faggots, and I'll.
Oh, that was the wrong one.
They are collectibles.
We try to stay away from drama. It was the one I was supposed to play. All right, I'm playing it now.
I tried to stay away from drama on my show.
All right. Crazy. Try looking up Demon Prince of
You
Corn.
vagina.
Oh yeah, Demon Prince of Corn. That's a pretty cool unit. It's one of the most versatile units. Entry. You can model them however you want.
Demon Prince of Corn. I can look that up. Demon Prince of Corn.
You're a weird dude here, Juice.
Me? Oh no, look what
Yeah.
I got. I just got degeneracy. Oh, 49k, god damn it. Oh, look,
Are you using Bing?
Yeah, fucking Bing.
I don't know, it's the one on this web browser. I use this web browser for the thing. I've got to change it over. Alright, is he a massive fucking demon with wings? Then I might have found him.
Yep. Walmart Chrome.
I don't even know. What's Bing?
So that's a cool kit. I like the Demon Princes that have been the best.
Oh, wow. See, that's what I imagine Punky's fingers to be like, too. 9 out of 10. Good old reach around.
Yeah, Demon's pretty badass.
That's pretty cool. I'm guessing these are just different versions. Yeah, look at the blood. Oh, the blood paint is just so good. Just makes it look so horrific. And pass. God, what did he
Paints everything.
He did something to one of his arms.
Yeah, that's a Demon of Nurgle. It's a blood prince, or a demon. You can tell he's got the pus on him, he's got Nurgle.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the Nurgle's right. That's what the pus paint's called. Wow, look at this bird creature thing.
I can't make that out at all.
Tzinch, Demon Princess.
What the fuck is that? Wow, that's well done. Whoa,
Whoa.
scene, I'd imagine.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Bone
that's
skulls.
probably sculpted
Demon
Kit Bash.
Prince of Nurgle.
Oh. That's a Nurgle? I can't even see it.
There's little
That
demons
one
licking
is.
bones down here. Look at the detail. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the Reapers. Nurgle's Terminators, they carried the Reaper's staff. Scythe. That's his shtick. The Reaper of Souls.
Alright, I think we covered pretty much most stuff though, and no one else wants on, so I think I'm just gonna do a double check. Crazy's all done. I think we're all done. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about MrMan?
Oh, nothing at all. Thanks for having me on. This was fun.
Yeah, it's been really good. That was great. I really enjoyed that today.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about I've never fucked with it, but that's a pretty impressive collection though, for sure.
Thank you.
I can appreciate it just for the collectible aspect, if anything.
A lot of work went in it.
Did my personal address get out there? Well, I did have to warn someone, give them a warning, and possibly going to kick them if they keep it up by posting personal information about me in my own Discord. I can't say that is pretty low tier, and I don't like it in my Discord. Please, I would appreciate it if he would stop doing it. And I can't believe he's going to those sorts of tactics. But yeah, I've got a PO box too if you want to send me shit. Oh wow, look at these. Crazy's sending more shit.
Who's doing that?
It was
Cog. Look in his general. Cog posted, or did you delete it?
I deleted it. I had to.
Okay.
I mean, someone posted a first name the other day and got kicked over it. Like, I don't fucking do it in my server. I don't.
Wait a minute, Cog well, I can't. I got kicked out of his server. I can't see what he
No, he
did.
posted it in my server. It's been deleted. I'm not gonna go. He's just posting my
Oh, he
DMs.
posted your address in your server?
No, he's just posting my DMs and stuff. Which is, yeah.
EJ basically told him about when plate doxed him, and then that was the DM that EJ sent him about.
He's such a butthurt faggot, Cog.
Yeah.
You're sad, dude.
Look at this one. Wow. Look, he's on a.
Vindictive.
This
That's what you get when you have a broad given you.
This is so cool. Look at that axe. Wish I had an axe like that. I'd be set for life. He's got like 6 eyes, and how does he eat with those teeth? He must have floss.
Yeah, that's well done.
This little demon. See, this is.
I think that's a forge. Isn't that salmon? Can you tell what the name of that demon is? Look,
yeah, it's called
like a
the Shrewster.
Steals pet. Needs that axe.
Yeah, I don't know. Cruisy didn't tell me to go that far. They're just trying to get me to show this. Oh, look at this one. Oh, look at its tongue. Oh, I wish I had a tongue like that. I'd be set for life. Wouldn't I'd break the ice at parties with that tongue, I'll tell you what. Oh, and the horns meet up to some sort of metal thing that goes over the top of the horn. A horn casing. I love it. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's got hooves.
Corn demons are pretty cool. You should go to Forge World if you don't mind, because that'll show
yeah, I can do
some
that.
really neat shit. They also do Lord of the Rings if you like Lord of the Rings, I guess. Oh yeah, the
I am from New
Titans.
Zealand,
Yeah, that's
really.
we should look at. Yeah, if you go to Forge World, I could show you guys models that are about 3 feet tall on the tabletop.
Mm-hmm.
That's the place you buy them from. GW is the biggest models they sell right now.
Please
It could
don't
be
make me
the
register
Knights
to,
or the
to
biggest.
look at your site, you fucking piece of shit.
No, they shouldn't. They'll just ask you what country you're from.
I clicked it. I'm clicking it. I'm clicking it.
The what? Oh, the Stompa. Yeah.
Just won't get
Yeah, I
rid
like
of the
Stompa too.
pop-up.
The Stompa's from GW. Yeah, no, the orc stuff on this one are like the bombers and shit. Like they're big planes and shit. Yeah.
Blood Angels Contemporary. Right.
Go to. I should go to. But you want the Titans. They should have a Titan section.
Titanicus?
I gotta open up the website too, just so I can tell you this shit right.
Not sure. There's
What's your
this.
fucking faggot Bing?
The
Just
Warhound
Bing.
Titan?
Yeah, Warhound Titan. That's a Titan. Yep.
Oh, okay.
I
We'll have a look at
painted one of those for my buddy for his wedding present.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that thing's about 12 to 14 inches. Yeah, there's a Titan builder on that thing for the Warlord. Alright. So go to
Oh, okay, yeah.
the horse.
Turbo Laser Destructor.
Yeah.
You need to install one of those in your car, Stretch. Turbo Laser Destructors.
Oh yeah.
I heard they're good. Wow, they look cool.
Unit type.
The designs look amazing, and it's just the same thing but different colors, I'm guessing. White paint doesn't look very good, but...
Here, I'm gonna drop a link in the on-air chat.
Yeah, man. Go for it. We've still got a few minutes.
That should have it filtered to Titans only.
Alright. Hopefully it won't make me register or anything weird.
Oh shit.
Here we go. Oh, wow.
Eh.
Oh, look at the little D down here.
So, I can't tell where you're at yet. I got like an 8-second delay. Yeah, there you go. So the one top left is a Reaver Titan. That's about 20 inches tall, plus the... I'm always going without the missile launchers on them. And again, it's approximate. You can model them so if you have the legs closer together, obviously. Then the middle is the Warhound, which I've personally put together and painted. It's a pretty cool kit. The guns are one piece usually. Lots of little doodads. You can actually pull the top off of it, and inside there's a cockpit where the 3 people run it. So 3 people run a Warhound. I think 5 people run a Reaver. They have a leader of the Titan is called the Princeps. He's the brains of it, and it's actually wired into. So you kind of feel what the Titan feels, because again, they don't have AI, and it's a very complicated machine. Going down to top right, I think that says Warlord Titan on it.
Yep. Yeah, Warlord Titan Builder. And then there's the Warbringer Nemesis Titan Builder. Mars Pattern Warlord Titan Body, $1,870.
Yeah, it ain't fucking cheap.
No.
Then that
Porphyrian,
that's a cool one.
A Castus
Yeah,
Knight.
Porphyrian I have in that. Yeah, the Knights are cool. So that's different marks of the red and white, the big red and white robot that I showed you near the end of the video.
Yeah.
There's different versions of those Knights, and that's one of the close combat ones. They come with like spears and shields, and you can put power fists on and shit like that. They're cool chassis. And that I showed you, my leader is in one of the Cerastus Knights. They're about 16 inches tall.
Yeah, wow.
And you can see you can buy them in bundles too, because again, multiples are where it's at in any army.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to
Make it
spend
a
some
lot
dough,
easier
you can
to
spend some
only
dough.
need to know the stats of one thing rather than 3 different ones. Wow, this is awesome. They're really cool though. I guess they don't look that cool when you first get them because they're just grey and in pieces.
Those dull gray models that you saw, that's them put together.
Yeah.
And all those gray models, that right side of my table, those are all like that tank you get from Forge World, all that.
It's amazing how...
Those are all Knights.
Yeah, it's amazing how expensive they are when it is just bits of plastic put together.
Yeah. You're paying for the privilege of having something so detailed. You're paying for that quality. Because there are other games like Warhammer, right? Like there's other futuristic games, but you'll have maybe 6 factions and maybe like 7 or 8 units. Just the Space Marine variety puts most games to shame. There are games that catch up, like War Machine. War Machine's pretty far along. Star Wars has been released for tabletop. That's another game I play. I have a Legion. I have a Darth Vader. And all of the classic Star Wars bad guys. I have about 50 stormtroopers, all that kind of stuff. You can play that. It's pretty detailed. But again, just the entire range just starts to reach where just the Space Marines are. And then you still have the Eldar, the Tyranids. The Tyranid range rivals the Space Marines. The Tower range rivals the Tyranid range. So there's so many models to choose from. That's just from GW. Then you add Forge World on top of it. Yeah. We should get to drama.
Yeah, we are.
We're going to, nigga.
Yeah, no.
Thanks,
I'm
Cruise.
excited, Mr. Man.
I fucking am, man. I missed last night. I went.
So remember, these are Australian prices, so it's $177 just for a gun that goes on his arm. But oh well, it has been great. The other guys are getting a bit silly. So we are going to end the show. It has been a great collectibles stream. We will probably be back next week. We don't have much planned because I've been trying to talk to Kitty Foreman, but they are not very good at talking. So I'm not sure. Otherwise, we've got other stuff coming up. Cruzy keeps sending those links. There you go. Thank you, Mr. Man, for coming on. I hope you enjoyed your experience on the collectibles stream.
Thanks, guys. I
there's
hope I
Punky.
did all right for you.
See, that's
Later, chat. Well,
Definitely.
see you in a second, chat.
Yeah.
All
See
right,
you guys on the happy hour.
Oh yeah, do you have a link for us, Stretch? So can you post the link in chat for us for everybody to jump over? I'll try.
Yeah,
and
give me.
That's
give me 2
Slanesh.
Awesome. We'll try and post a link for the next stream that's coming over. Thanks everybody for turning up. I hope you had a great stream.
Yeah, I'm about to post it in chat right now.
I certainly did. There you go.
Bye, chat. I didn't look at you all day. I'm sorry. I didn't want to get distracted, but I will see you at the happy hour.
Yeah, go over to happy hour because the information that's coming out, if you are talking about John Kelly, it's pretty good, and that was amazing that Cog of all people decided to fall for John Kelly's retarded shit. If you don't know much about John Kelly, well, I don't know what they're covering at happy hour. I hope they go over it, but otherwise I am making a video as well. But
No, yeah, we're covering it, and I'm trying all this. Oh, you didn't come to me, shit. Yeah, watch this shit.
Awesome. Well, Cog, I'm guessing he is invited to turn up if he would like to.
Disingenuous faggot.
I will probably drop by. Make sure you also check out my merch. It's great. Make sure you get it. If you've got one date left for the sale, please buy my merch. Everyone buy my merch. I need money because drama.
Yeah, if
Make money
the
off of
hook-nosed cuck shows up, you gotta come, EarJuice.
I'll try and make it. I could edit and stuff. Yeah, I'll.
He named me, you, and Hef specifically so he can talk to us. Since he's a bitch.
Well, I don't know. I'd rather be a bitch than having to listen to him try and break down my thoughts and feelings and then tell me what I was thinking at a certain point in July.
Yeah, you totally fucking you knew about it. That's why we went to Ralph. Come on, faggot.
Alright.
Jeez.
Well,
in the goddamn stream.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm gonna play a song as the outro, guys. Thanks a lot. You guys can take off.
Bye, chat. Bye, Mr. Man.
I'll sit here and
see you, mate.
And do it. Let's go with I don't know. There is that gay niggas song. I don't want to get flagged for hate speech again. I'm really getting sick of that. So let's go out with the classics. See you later, guys.
See you guys.
Buddy! 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 Get started! 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 Get started!
That's called getting cooked to the internet, guys. We've got to accept